Hello children, welcome to Virtual Training Center Dadar. I am Mrs. Akshata Kale and today we will learn one English poem of Standard 5th and the title is The Try Anti Wanchi Gongala. Yes students, here the poet is in a very imaginative mood. He talks about an imaginary insect which he calls the Try-Anti-Wanti Gongalap. Got this children? Shall we move to the poem? The Try-Anti-Wanti Gongalap is the title of this poem. First we will read first stanza. It has 4 stanzas altogether. We will study one by one. Okay? There is a very funny insect that you do not often spy. And it isn't quite a spider and it isn't quite a fly. It is something like a beetle and a little like a bee, but nothing like a woolly grub that climbs upon a tree. Its name is quite a hard one, but you will learn it soon, I hope. So try, try, try anti-wanti, try anti-wanti gongala. Yes, students, this is the first stanza. Here, the poet says that this is a very funny insect that you do not often see. Okay? It is neither like a spider nor like a fly. But it's something like a beetle and a little like a bee. It is not like the woolly little fat worm that climbs upon a tree. And he says its name, the Try-Anti-Wanti Gongola, is quite hard to pronounce. But he hopes the reader will soon learn it. Got this, student? This is the meaning of this stanza. Yes, students, here we can see some rhyming pairs. See this. Spy, fly. Okay. Bee, tree. You know the meaning of rhyming pairs. We always search for rhyming pairs in the poem, isn't it? Okay, here see. This is a spider, means he says it is neither like a spider and nor like a fly. Correct? These are the insects. But it looks like a beetle. This is called beetle. And a little like a bee. You know bee, correct? You know beetle also. Means it is a different imaginary insect. About that the poet is saying. Yes, students, this is woolly grub, a smooth and soft caterpillar. We'll move to second stanza. It lives on weeds and wattle gum and has a funny face. Its appetite is hearty and its manners a disgrace. When first you come upon it, it will give you quite a scare. But when you look for it again, you find it isn't there. And unless you call it softly, it will stay away and mope. So try, try, try anti-wanti, try anti-wanti gongala. Yes, students, you will see the meaning of this stanza. These insects lives on weeds and the gum from certain trees. Weeds means waste grass. It has a funny face. Its appetite is large, means its hunger. Its amount of having food, that is appetite, okay, is large. and its manners are quite disgraceful. It gives one quite a scare when one first comes across it. But when you look for it again, you find it isn't there, and you must call it softly or it will stay away, very sorry for itself. The poet once again asks us to try and pronounce this insect's name, isn't it? Okay, here also we will find some rhyming pairs. Face, disgrace, scare, there. Okay, and we will see some meanings of the weeds and wattle gum. See, these are called weeds. Waste grass in between the crops. Here that Trianthivontygongala leaves. See, this is a wattle gum. Yes, the meaning of mope is feel dejected and apathetic. Students, we will move to the third stanza. Okay, it trembles if you tickle it or tread upon its toes. It is not an early riser, but it has a snubbish nose. If you sneer at it or scold it, it will scuttle off in shame. But it purrs and purrs quite proudly if you call it by its name and offer it some sandwiches of sealing wax and soap. So try, Trianthivontygongala. Yes, again here we will see the meaning. The poet tells us something more about this insect. It trembles if you tickle it. Okay, we will see the meaning with the picture of all that blue colored words. Okay, it trembles if you tickle it or step upon its toes. It is not an early riser, means it wakes up late. It has a fat nose turned up at the end. If you get it an unpleasant look or scold it, it will run away in shame with quick, short steps. But it purrs quietly, proudly if you call it by its name and offer it some sandwiches of sealing wax and soap. So try, says the poet again, to pronounce its name. Got this, students? Very shy insect. And again here we can see some rhyming pairs. Toes, nose. Shame, name. Okay, and we will go through the meanings of these blue typed words. Okay, we will go through some of the meanings. Trembles means, see the action. Meaning is shake involuntarily. Okay, and tickle. See, this is tickling. Yeah, what is that? It trembles if you tickle it or tread upon its toes. If you tickle, it trembles. Snobbish. Snobbish means superior, exclusive, or you can say short, fat and turned up at the end in this poem. Sneer. See, this is a sneer look, means an unpleasant look. Scuttle off. Here the meaning is to run with quick, short steps. Yes, when we sneer at that insect or when we scold it, it will scuttle off in shame. Okay. Scold. You know this. Scold means shouting. Yes, we will move to fourth stanza. But of course, you haven't seen it, and I truthfully confess that I haven't seen it either, and I don't know its address. For there isn't such an insect, though there really might have been if the trees and grass were purple and sky was bottle green. It's just a little joke of mine, which you will forgive, I hope. Oh, try, try, anchi wanchi, try anchi wanchi gongola. Written by C. J. Dennis. Yes, dear students, the meaning of this last paragraph here, the poet confesses about his doings. See here, the poet finally gives out his secret truthfully. He says that the reader may not have seen this insect, neither has he, the poet, nor does he know where it lives. He says that there isn't such an insect, but there might have been one, provided that the trees and grass were purple and the sky was bottle green. He says that it was just a joke, and he asks the reader to forgive him. But at the end, he once again asks the reader to pronounce the name Try-Enchi Wanchi Gongola. Got this, students? There was not a insect like this. It is not there. Only this is the imaginary insect of the poet. Okay. Now here also we can see some rhyming pairs. See this: confess, address, be green. Okay, dear students. Yes, this is all about the poem Try-Enchi Wanchi Gongola. Yes, students, here the meaning of confess. See, this is a confess. He is confessing, means admitting his or her guilt or crime. Whatever the wrong thing he made, he is confessing about that crime or that thing. Okay. Now, dear students, we will move to grammar part. Here in this poem, that grammar is about its, it apostrophe s, and its, its. Okay, see this, you can see here. We have to find out the difference between its with apostrophe and its without apostrophe. Yes, students, we will see here the difference between its with apostrophe and its without apostrophe. Okay. Now we will go through some of the examples. First one here, for its with apostrophe. Okay. Its means it is. Okay. It is, and sometimes it has. Okay. Now see, this is, it's great to see you. Here it is the meaning, it is great to see you. Okay. Second one, it's been fun, means it has been fun. Got this, students? Because here apostrophe we can see, it's clear to see, means it is clear to see. Got this? Okay, now we will move to its without apostrophe. Now here its means a possessive form of it. See the example, the tree dropped its leaves, means the tree dropped its own leaves. The possessive form, its own. Okay. Second one, the pencil lost its point. Here also its means its own. Got? Next one, a robot recharged its battery, means a robot recharged its own battery, because it is also in the possessive form. Yes, dear students, I hope you understood about the its with apostrophe and without apostrophe. Okay. Okay, see here difference between its and its. One more example is that my grassland recovers its greenery in rainy days. My grassland recovers its greenery. Whose greenery? Its own greenery. Means that place is full of greenery. Okay, like that in the rainy days. Second one, it is a hot sunny day. See, it means it is a hot sunny day. Okay. Here, use its or its means with apostrophe or without apostrophe. Here 4 questions or fill in the blanks are there. You have to fill properly the form of its with apostrophe or without apostrophe. See first one. The dog is lazy and it is hungry, right? So it's with apostrophe. Correct? Second one. The dog is eating its food. Possessive form. That is its without apostrophe. Third one. Dash eating dash food. First one, it is, correct? It's eating its food, possessive form. You have to think about the situation, then you will put proper form of that. It's with apostrophe or without. Okay. Last one, dash been raining for 2 hours. It is been, correct? So with apostrophe. It's been raining for 2 hours. Yes, dear students, I think you understood the concept of it's with apostrophe or it's without apostrophe. Okay. Students, I would like to give you one activity. Yes, think about an imaginary creature. Okay, describe it in your own words, or you may draw a picture and label it, or you can write a simple poem on it. Okay, try and enjoy that. Okay, and thank you very much for being with me and stay safe. Bye bye.